Good afternoon, folks. We're here today. We're going to address a few things on this MG Midget that I talked about the other day. I've addressed a few things that it's going to need. Got a steering boot that's got to be replaced. Since I've gotten this car running, I have, which took a little bit of time messing with the carburetors and adjusting and that type of thing. I have not done an oil change on this car, so we're going to give it an oil change today. It needs that badly because there's probably fuel in the oil, and that's not a good thing. So we're going to address that too. Also, I was driving this car the other day. It's got a vibration that I can't quite identify. It seems to be that it may be in the rear, could be in the transmission, maybe in the rear. But we're going to get down to the bottom of that and see if we can't determine what that issue is. So without any further delay, let's get on with the oil change first. Let's get this hole out of here. Let's let this drain for a little bit and clean it up a little bit under here. And these old cars are notorious for leaking oil. The British call it self-lubricating or self-undercoating. Normally we'd replace the copper O-ring on the drain plug. It's the proper way to do that. I don't have one, so I want this oil change. I'll do it the next oil change. I noticed a little bit of oil on the floor behind the right rear wheel. So I don't know if I've got an axle leaking or if that's from something else. I have no idea, but I'll check that out also. Oil doesn't look too terrible. It's a little bit black, but let's see what it smells like. It smells a little gassy, which is a little more than I would care to have in there. So it's a good thing we're changing it out, because it would not be good to run it very long like that. We'll let this drain for a few minutes and I'll come back. All right, let's get that oil filter off of there. You don't need to put these things on with a wrench or anything. Just hand tighten them, they're fine. You see how easy this one comes off. It's coming right off. Not to say it's not making a mess, but it's coming right off. Well, number one thing you want to do is you want to, when changing oil, put your date on there so you know when it is. If you drive it enough, put your mileage on there. But if it's just a secondary car, a date just will be fine. Put a little bit of new engine oil on the filter. Actually, because of the way this one sets up, I can actually fill the filter itself. So we've filled the filter with oil. Put it back on there and send it back on. If you get too much oil on your hands, you gotta too much oil on your hands, and you got to wipe them off before you can tighten up the filter. You won't get the filter tight enough. Again, you don't need to tighten them a lot. Just snug them down. They'll be fine. Clean the oil off of them. Now we'll cut this filter in half just to see what kind of situation I'm in with the lower end of the engine. We want to make sure that we don't have any metal in there, anything like that. I always try to take my oil cap off when I'm doing an oil change and just leave it off until I put the oil back in. That way I know that I haven't put oil in it. Right now I got to crawl under the bottom and put the drain plug back in. Be right back with you. Always clean your tools before you put them back, because next time you may need to do something that you're not dirty, and you'll be covered in grease. Get the jack stands out from under it, put it back on the ground so we can get the proper amount of oil in it. Of course, I got the best oil that money can buy. Nope, it was the cheapest. So that's what we'll go with. See if we can't Bluetooth this oil in here without making a big mess. Probably not. Of course not. This takes approximately 4 quarts, so what I'll do is put some in and check it. Clean up my mess that I just made from my poor Bluetoothing skills. Let's check, see where we are oil-wise. Doesn't show to be on the stick yet. God. Yeah, I didn't put that much in there. Lord, my Bluetooth skills are terrible. Whoa. Thing about it is I got a funnel probably 2 steps away. We'll fire it up real quick. Get that oil circulating just a little bit. And then we'll check the oil again. Oil pressure came right up. Oil pressure came up. That's a good sign. All right, we'll come back to you with you after we've checked the oil again. All right, let's start this rascal up and see if everything's okay. Let the fuel pump build up for just a second. Like we got almost 70 pounds of oil pressure. So I cut open the oil filter on that car, and let's see what we've got in here. I want to make sure we haven't got any metal bits. Keep in mind, I don't do this every time. It's just on a motor that's been freshened up. I want to see what's going on with it. Well, if I can get her to come out. She's being a little finicky. Well, that's great. A shot. Here we go. Doesn't look like there's any particles in this, so it looks okay. Our next little project is going to be a boot. This is a steering boot for the steering rack. Let me go get a hammer and show you how these wheels come off. Let's get you in here so you can see what we're doing here. Let's see here. It's gonna be a little bigger. Got the wrench for that one. Let's get the wrench for that right in. inside. So bring out the big guns here. Yeah, there we go. All right. I see a lot of people take these things off and use ball joint tools and all that kind of stuff. Old man told me years ago, if you hit it right on the end here, they'll pop right out. I think we'll see if I can raise up the suspension just a little bit. To relieve our ball joint, because I think she's in a bind. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. All right. Now you want to count your turns when you remove the ball joint. You want to count your turns, bringing it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's like 17 turns. Now we're going to pull this off. This would be the pinch nut or binder nut, whatever you want to call it. Now that that's off, we can now proceed to take our boot off. Looks like I'm gonna need a flashlight and a very small screwdriver. Good Lord, these things are caked over with. There we go. Let's see here. There's some. Leave that tie rod in, maybe a little on the loose side. Need a pair of pliers. Constantly need to go get tools for these jobs. Never fails, you never fails, you sit down and you never have enough tools. Except when you're doing the reverse of the situation, because then you should kind of should know what you need to go back with it. Lord have mercy. All right, now we got to get this splash sealed out from under here. I've gone and got my tools and ready. You don't need to see that. You know what getting tools out of a toolbox look like. All right. I did go drive this car a little bit ago and verified what I was talking about earlier. It literally, these are great little cars. This one drives like crap. And it's got a noise in the rear end. I may have to pull the rear end out of it to see what we've got there. I drained and filled the rear end when I first got this thing, and you know, had no idea what we're dealing with, but I drained and filled it just to freshen it up. But back on to what I was saying about the car driving like crap. These things drive incredible. They're fun to drive. They go around corners well. They drive kind of like a little go-kart. But when they're old and tired and worn out like this one is, you don't get quite the same satisfaction. Give us a little bit more access to the screw on the other end of the boot. I'm almost debating just breaking this old boot off if I can, because this is in such bad shape that working around it's kind of pointless. There we go. More of that crap I could get off. Better off I'll be, because getting this screw loose was challenging enough on the outside. But a foot inside the engine compartment doesn't make it any easier, for sure. And by all means, we try to do our best to do things right, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes you have to do it. You have to do what you can to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. When you drive an old vintage car, things happen on the road, and which brings me to another point. I've got something very exciting coming up soon. I don't know. You guys will either love it or you won't care a thing about it, but actually I have two projects coming up. Well, one's not a project. Now, one's a project. One's not a project. One just needs a few repairs made, and the other one is a project, which is the one that you guys may be excited about. I don't know. Depends. take that back. This one has actually got enough grease on it that it seems to be loosening up without much trouble, which is kind of nice. I'll take my wins where I can get them. What in the world is going on here? Oh, there we go. Yep. I got the boot off. Now I got to clean things up and grease it and reassemble it. But I'm going to step away from the camera for a minute to clean up these clamps. The new boot that I purchased had wire ties as clamps. And unless I just absolutely can't use the ones I've got, I'm not going to use those. But I'll be back in just a minute or two. All right, I'm back. I have cleaned up the clamps best as I can. They should be able to work fine. Now I'm going to clean up the rack a little bit and put some grease back on it because it's surely lacking grease. Grease I'm going to use today is I'm going to use some premium red grease. It's just grease. And I'll put a little bit of grease in the boot to help. Maybe to help retain some of it because some of it's inevitably going to squeeze out somewhere. Maybe on the other side, I don't know. The other boot seemed to be good, but it's been a little while since I've looked at it, so we'll look at it and address it as needed. Done a lot of things to this old car, and it's come a long way. It sat in the guy's basement since 1985. This guy drove to college, and this was his only car. And let me tell you, either he had no talent or no money. But whichever case case it was, of course, most college students don't have money, but whichever the case was, he did a lot of butchery on this car. I mean, wire ties and chicken wire are pretty much the order of the day on this one. But we're going to see if we can't, you know, straighten out as much as that as possible. Good Lord. I've seen some tough boots to put on. This one's right on up there. Most of them are fairly simple, but when you deal with aftermarket parts, sometimes they're not the best quality anymore. All right, bring you back in here. I got the inner clamp on, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I didn't think he wanted to watch me fiddle with that one, but now we have the outside one, so which shouldn't be a big deal, but we'll see. You never know with this stuff. It seems like rotating these things around when you're putting them on kind of helps a little bit. There we go. Got that one on. Let's tighten it up. I know I'm probably a little bit boring. I'm kind of new to this, so any suggestions from you guys would be greatly appreciated. I don't get offended, but oh, that's not where that went. All right, I'm gonna run the pinch nut on down. I swear that thing looks like it should go on the top, but it went down from the bottom. Why is that? Oh, that's because the travel is all the way at the bottom. Okay. That makes sense. All right.
Oh, God damn it. We'll come back after we get this fender extension assembled. All right. We're back in here putting the fender liner back in. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, as you can see, we've got the boot completed, the ball joints back on. Everything is secured. Now all we gotta do is put the wheel back on. And we'll take it for a test run to make sure everything is okay. Let me get some, get the jack stand. Oh, can't take the jack stand out quite yet. Now we get this rascal off. Put our grease cap back in the. Let's put our grease cap back in the hole. Tire back on the vehicle. Hub back on the wheel. If you have one of these old British cars, this tool right here that you take the hubs off with, they make modern newfangled versions that I don't know, they're 3 feet long, and they'll let you take it off without a hammer. It's kind of convenient, but I'm using what I got because we on a budget. We'll go give it a test drive, and that looks like that'll conclude this video for today. The next couple of days, I will probably address the situation with the rear end. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll just have to dig into it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Please share, subscribe. Please comment. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like right now I'm a little boring, but it'll get better as I get a little more acclimated to what I'm doing. But it's kind of a learning curve. But thank you for the folks. I don't have any subscribers yet, but I've had several viewers, so thank you to the people that have taken the time to view my videos. I do appreciate it very much. And again, like, share, and subscribe, and We'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much.